Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment. 32 teams, 32 days, and today we're talking about the Green Bay Packers. Are they finally ready to make another Super Bowl push? We've been waiting for the Packers to return to the Super Bowl since 2010 and they just haven't done it. Is this the year? Is Aaron Rodgers finally ready to go back and add to his hand? Man, only one ring thus far. We're going to discuss that today. Look at this team's strengths, look at its weaknesses, give you my statistical projections for some offensive players, give you some bold predictions for this team in its season to come, and end this video with my official win-loss prediction for the Green Bay Packers. So let's start by talking about their strengths, and let's start by talking about the biggest strength: quarterback Aaron Rodgers. A-Rod, he's back, hopefully for 16 games, and if he is, then we already know what's gonna go down. He is a bad man, as Stephen A. Smith of ESPN's First Take will say, for good reason. The guy's an absolute beast. I mean, the number of seasons that he has over a 100 passer rating is insane. The number of seasons he has over 30 passing touchdowns is insane. And also throwing for less than 10 interceptions in almost every season he's ever played. The guy is a freaking beast. We already know this. We get this. He's arguably the best quarterback in the NFL. And to me, he is the best quarterback in the NFL. Give me Aaron Rodgers, although Tom Brady is the greatest of all time. With that, so we move on to the next strength for this football team. We move on to their defensive line. And man, oh man, I said it when they drafted him. The Packers got an absolute beast in Kenny Clark, the former defensive lineman out of UCLA. He has come into the Packers and he has ascended. His rookie year was a little quiet. Last year was not, as he was an absolute beast against the run. I'm expecting more of the same. One of the best nose tackles in the NFL right now. Teaming up with him is Mike Daniels, the veteran defensive lineman for the Packers. He's been honestly one of their best defensive players over the past number of seasons. I'm expecting more of the same from him. Muhammad Wilkerson, who's been banged up the last couple of years, has not reached what his former heights were when he was with the New York Jets around 2015 and 2014. Can he ascend back to those heights? That's the question for me. But even then, last season, he was pretty good. I just really wish he could go back to those heights, and I think he will. I think this season, we're going to see the Muhammad Wilkerson of old, and he will dominate once again. And we also have Dean Lowry, formerly out of Northwestern as well. He was a part of that Kenny Clark draft class, and he has also been a good player for the Packers defensive line. I like the Packers defensive line. We move on though to their weaknesses. Those are the only strengths to me, so we move on to weaknesses, and we have to look at their running back position, which continues to give me problems. Now, the Packers are insistent on starting Jamal Williams, and I don't get it. Last season, I saw nothing from Jamal Williams to suggest that he was worth anything. 3.6 yards per carry, over 500 rushing yards, about 153 carries. Who cares? I never saw anything exciting, nothing dynamic, nothing that got me going, nothing at all. Okay, now behind him is Aaron Jones, who did surprise me. 5.5 yards per carry, but he couldn't stay healthy. Now he's suspended for the first 2 games of the 2018 NFL season for obstructing the NFL substance abuse policy. And currently he's sitting at number 3 on this running back depth chart. Ty Montgomery, who's another quote-unquote running back on this roster. I mean, come on, man. Like, he's had decent games. He ain't no damn running back. The running back situation in Green Bay, it's a model joke. Okay, I mean, we gotta call it what it is. It's not completely ridiculous, but it's pretty damn funny. Jamal Williams, who ain't good, Aaron Jones, who can't stay healthy and is currently suspended, and Ty Montgomery, who ain't a damn running back. Running back is a weakness in Green Bay. Move on to the next weakness for this football team, and we must move on to their cornerback situation. Now, this could easily change as the Packers drafted two cornerbacks in the first 2 rounds of the 2018 NFL draft. Alexander the first round, Jackson in the second. And they also are waiting on Kevin King to continue to improve. They took him in the 2017 NFL draft. But for right now, there's a lot of questions right here. And I'm never very comfortable when you're talking about relying on rookie and sophomore corners. That's a dangerous, dangerous game. Not everyone comes in and plays like Marshawn Lattimore. Not everyone comes in and plays like Jalen Ramsey. A lot of cornerbacks struggle early and then become good cornerbacks when they're 25, 26, 28 years old. Right now, we're looking at guys that are very young. Now, again, I like the picks of Jackson and Jair Alexander. I like them both, but again, I'm just afraid they might struggle to start out. They also have Tramon Williams, who is kind of old news at this point. This guy was drafted in 2007, been around for now over 10 seasons. You're starting to wonder about his legs. He had a good year last year, but the years prior to that, also had some down years as well. Wouldn't really know what to expect from him, or at least I don't. So the cornerbacks are certainly a question to me, but if King can develop and Jair Alexander and Josh Jackson can come in and play well, then this position will be just fine. We also saw Quentin Rollins really struggle last year. He needs to bounce back to what his form was during the 2016 NFL season. That remains. Okay, outside of that, the safeties I like. Clinton Dix, he's decent. Kentel Bryce, he's not. That's why the safeties aren't a strength. Offensive line, it's good, not great, mainly because right now we're talking about Lane Taylor, who looks to not be where he once was, let's say during the 2016 NFL season. Maybe the 2015 was probably his pick. I want him to get back to that form. And also Justin McCray, who looks like he's going to be starting at right guard. I'm not a big fan of him. And Brian Bulaga is not once what he was. Last year was a disappointing season for him. So I want to see more consistency from these guys moving forward. The tight ends I do like, though. We're talking about bringing in Jimmy Graham. I like him. He had a good year last year teaming with Russell Wilson, and he won't have to block much, as they also have Mercedes Lewis and Lance Kendricks to block behind him. I think the tight ends are going to be huge for the Packers this year. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to really have a great year teaming up with Jimmy Graham and Mercedes Lewis. We move on from that to my statistical projections for the Green Bay Packers. Let us begin with Aaron Rodgers. I'm expecting a great year from Aaron Rodgers and a very prolific year for his standards in terms of passing yards. 4,600 passing yards for Aaron Rodgers. This would be one of his highest totals. It would be second all time in terms of his passing yard totals. 32 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and a 100.1 passer rating. I think his touchdowns won't be over 40. He had about 40, I want to say, during the 2016 NFL season. Not that high, because the wide receivers aren't there right now. Devontae Adams, Randall Cobb, and that's it. We're relying on a bunch of other guys that we don't know much about right now, and that really, really concerns me. We're going to talk about that more in a minute. We move on to running back Jamal Williams, 150 carries, 600 yards, 3 touchdowns. Look, I don't know what to project for these running backs. If I'm the Packers, I wait for Aaron Jones to come back and I start him. I think he's the best running back on this roster. I don't think it's very close. I don't know why they like Jamal Williams, other than the fact that he's better in terms of pass protection than Aaron Jones, and that is important, okay, whenever Aaron Rodgers is on your team, but I like Aaron Jones. I don't know what to tell you. And then wide receiver Devontae Adams, 90 catches, 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns. It's time for Devontae Adams to step up. Okay, all you have is Devontae Adams, Randall Cobb, and then a bunch of rookies. D'Angelo Yankee, Equanimous St. Brown. They're trusting this kid they picked up from the Cincinnati Bengals. I can't even remember his name. Jake Kumaro, I think that's his name. They're liking this. The wide receivers right now is wide open. And also Geronimo Allison. Maybe this guy's going to step up and improve from last year's season. I mean, come on. The wide receiver room in Green Bay, it's very suspect right now. I didn't label it as a weakness because you still do have Randall Cobb and Devontae Adams, but it is shaky. So Devontae Adams is going to have to step up, and I think he will with 1,200 receiving yards. Moving on to my bold predictions. And speaking of Devontae Adams, I have Devontae Adams and Kenny Clark making their first Pro Bowls. Kenny Clark for sure, and I think Devontae Adams for sure, because he's going to have to step up. I mean, I have him down for 1,200 receiving yards. It could easily be 1,300 or even 1,400, because he's going to get a lot of volume. Aaron Rodgers will throw for over 4,000 yards. We know that to be true. Jimmy Graham's not going to come down with over 1,000 receiving yards. Neither will Randall Cobb. Someone probably will, and I'm looking at Devontae Adams. It's time to step up. We move on to my second bold prediction. Equanimous St. Brown makes the team and makes an impact. This is a 5th round pick for the Green Bay Packers. This man is standing at 6'4", 6'5". I even want to say, I think he's actually 6'5", and he runs a 4.48 40. He had inconsistent play at Notre Dame, a quarterback play at Notre Dame, which prevented him from being a very prolific wide receiver during his last season. But this guy can play. I love his speed combined with his height, and his route running is actually decent. I'm hearing good things out of training camp. I think Equanimous St. Brown, 5th round pick out of Notre Dame, makes the team and makes an impact for the Green Bay Packers. And then bold prediction number 3, and this leads me into my win-loss prediction. The Packers barely make the playoffs. I do think they make the playoffs, but I think it will be barely, as I have them going 10-6. The good news for the Green Bay Packers is that their schedule ain't very hard. They have the privilege of going up against the AFC East, and that will get you somewhere, boy. As the NFC South learned last season, as they had 3 teams make the playoffs, when you face the AFC East, you won the lottery. You will be just fine. The Packers will absolutely go 3-1 against the AFC East. They will beat the Dolphins. They will beat the Jets. They will beat the Bills, and they will have no problem doing so. They could even beat New England, but I'm not going to have that right now. I do have New England winning because that game is in New England. Other than that, there are some difficult games. They do have to travel to LA to face the LA Rams. They do have to face the Vikings twice, as we know. And I have to pick the Packers to go 10-6 and make the playoffs. Now, best case scenario, I can only go 11-5. I don't think it's a 12-4 plus year for the Packers. I just don't. They're relying on way too much youth at the cornerbacks and wide receiver positions. Way too much youth there. And also running back positions. This seems like a transitional year for the Green Bay Packers. Just developing these guys, getting them better, and that's it. Aaron Rodgers pushing them to be better, and that's it. They're not going to be a 12-plus win team. Not in this division, where the Lions are still going to be pesky and the Vikings are very good. Not in this division. I just don't see that. Worst case scenario, 9-7. This is the lowest range I've ever given. 9-7, 10-6, 11-5. That's it. I don't want to discuss any other record. That is their range to me. Absolutely, without a doubt, the smallest range I've ever given. That is your range for the Green Bay Packers, and my prediction is 10-6. They make the playoffs, but just barely. So there you go. That is my 2018 prediction and preview for the Green Bay Packers. What are your thoughts? Comment down below. I want to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow to discuss the Houston Texans. That will be my most controversial video yet, as I expose the fraud Watson. Until next time, this has been MJ, Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.